How would you describe the education system in the UK?
Reactive, much like every other industry. They do their bit. I mean, they give them credit. They do try to deal with issues as and when they get to it. Most pertinently, I guess the whole topic about LGBTQ, and now that's become a prevalent topic in society. They have now decided to react on that and try to put things in place to ensure that, I guess, they address misconceptions behind it, as well as provide a teaching point. Now that's come at the, I guess, at the cost, well, not the cost, but at the disgruntlement of many parents, many different backgrounds, many teachers, many different people of different religions. And do you know what? As with teachers, we have one hand tied behind our back because of the decisions that government make. And I always say that it seems to be those in power who have a lack of, and I place my hand behind my back because it is how I feel. It's always those in power who are far removed from what the day-to-day grind is of being a teacher, who make these decisions. And I guess the same is with them. I'm pretty sure that they are also governed by some sort of higher authority that tells them that, you know, this needs to be put in place, that needs to be this. And sometimes they also have their hands tied behind their back and have to make decisions. I guess, you know, there will always be someone above us that makes the decisions for us, and whether we agree or disagree, we have to carry them out to a certain extent. But the education system as a whole, it can be better. And the reason why I say that is because, well, you see its products, its clients, or its parents, the children, and a lot of them are becoming disinterested and disengaged. What's missing? What else is out there? Why is education no longer seen to be the root of progress or the root to success? Why is it seen as a bore or a chore or something that should be ignored? There's a lack of connection between its key concept and what it can produce.
How would you make it better?
It needs to be relatable. It needs to be relatable to society that you live in. It needs to be relatable to life. And they do try very hard. I mean, in maths, for example, always encouraged to make maths relatable to life. I mean, I was teaching year 6, I teach year 6 and I teach the top set for year 6, and we were learning about ratio and proportion, and I linked that into cooking recipes. So, you know, we made a recipe to cook apple pie, apple crumble, and we were talking about the ratio of how much grams I'd need for the apple and the flour, etc. We made it relatable. So making it relatable finds a purpose. You find a meaning to the reason why you do things. However, the relatable that I am talking about comes under the word education. Education is knowledge that you gain to improve your future, improve your chances of success, develop you further holistically, not just academically. And I feel from an early age, you should have the life skills, or you should be encouraged or encouraged to have the life skills that you need necessary to make a difference. One of the things is money management. I feel that children should have the understanding of money and what it means and where it comes from. Now that would take a combined effort from just educators, parents as well, and, you know, charities and workshops. But money is a key thing. And yeah, it's not, I mean, it appears in maths, you learn about change and stuff, but actually understanding where money comes from, its value, and how to harness it to the best of your ability is something that's not taught in schools. And it's something that you have to learn in life. You've got to learn it in life. You've got to pick up and go. And you need to do it straight away. And a lot of people struggle. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. Another thing, as I said, you always go back to the 3 things I mentioned: who you think you are, who you really are, and who you want to be. I think children need to be educated on themselves. Have some time to talk about, you know, to be reflective, to look at things that went well, to look at things that didn't go so well. That sort of aspect of of their sort of development. Because right now, all education is all about schools. It's all about the academics. It's never really about who the person is. And that's, if you get that right, everything else will fall into place, because children will then understand, right, I understand now why this subject relates to me, or I understand why I need to learn this, because it is conducive to the person that I want to be. That's how I make it relatable.
Does the curriculum equip students for like the basic fundamental skills?
The curriculum equips students to be employees of an industry, not to be creative. A long time ago, we had what we call the Industrial Revolution. And the Industrial Revolution, you had many different changes. You had, the coal, the oil, and all of that stuff. And then you have the Digital Revolution. In Sainsbury's, if you go to your local Sainsbury's, 20 years ago, you did not see a computer in sight. Now you see self-checkouts, more technology, less staff. Sainsbury's and other supermarkets have clocked on to the digital revolution that happened, and they're taking advantage of it. Every other industry have adapted to the times. The education industry is an industry that's been going on over 200 years, founded by the same principles and teachings that it was formed by, to teach a particular set of children at a particular set of time that no longer exists. We now live in a multicultural society that did not exist 200 years ago. We now live with children with different needs. We now teach children with a different set of mindset and different challenges to the ones that existed 200 years ago. So the education system must evolve. It has to evolve to keep up.
What's been the biggest change in the last 30 years in terms of teaching?
Well, I mean, I've only been living for 28 years, so I wouldn't be able to tell you the previous two before that one. But the biggest change, I would say, for me, going from as a child to now a teacher, so a client of the system, to now the provider of the system, the biggest change, and there are two. One I mentioned previously about the and it's a good thing that I'm going to mention this, because it links back to one of my projects that I would like to start up, is that a teacher is no longer seen as the pillar of the community. A teacher is now seen as a servant, which I guess in some ways it is true, because they are serving the community, but servant in the sense of there's no respect given to them. It's all a work, put in effort, but minimal recognition.
In the same high regard
as other people in other industries. Not sure why, because if you live the day in the life of a teacher, you'd see how much effort they produce and how much work they have to produce. It's not, like I said, it's not like a normal any other job, a 9 to 5. You can switch off. You can enjoy your weekends. However, as a teacher, there's rarely time when you switch off. Even now, I'm thinking about marking the books that I need to do for Monday, because we've got an assessment, and thinking about how to plan out the last 2 weeks of this term.
Yo, I don't need a coach. I don't need advice.
Good talk, coach. Thanks.